What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to the 465th edition of TSR Live, your daily dose of red pill truth, wisdom, and awareness. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let's go ahead and get started. Our girl, Amy Horton, is at it again. I have actually affectionately nicknamed her Amy the Cautionary Tale Horton, because Amy Horton is she's the poster child in terms of being the cautionary tale for girls who live the lives that they live, who live that Sandbergian principle of modern life dating. So she wrote an article that grabbed my attention, and if you're looking at the screen, it is entitled, quote, "I'm scared that I no longer have the ability to be emotionally available." She starts off the article like this. She says, quote, "I've been single for a long time, so it's easy to avoid emotional vulnerability. Now, I'm not sure I can even go there anymore. It's much easier to go about my life without peeling away the layers. If I'm open, that means I can be hurt, and I'm really trying to avoid that." Okay? Now, she says, I've been single for a long time, guys. Right? This is code for I've been hooking up with guys, having one-night stands and random hookups. That's what this means. I talked about this last time when girls say, I haven't been in a relationship for 3 years. That doesn't mean she's been living like a hermit. That doesn't mean she's been living under a rock. Oh, no. She's still hitting the clubs. She's still at the bars every Friday. She's still swiping right on anything with a Y chromosome that shows her attention. But the very next phrase gives her away when she says, so it's easy to avoid emotional vulnerability. She has had the emotional vulnerability fucked out of her. Listen, sex is emotional for women. It's more emotional for women than it is men. But if you've had so much sex, there's only so much emotion you can give. She's had so much sex with so many guys, it's easy to avoid emotional vulnerability. And then, of course, she says, if I'm open, it means that I can be hurt. This is the same as a woman wanting all the rewards without any of the risk. No risk, no reward. You cannot open up without being vulnerable. She wants to be a party girl. She wants to be promiscuous. She wants to sleep with all the bad boys without catching feelings. But because she's a woman, she is unable to do that. So she's got 15 bullet points. We're going to go over all of them and break them down here. Let's get to it. Number 1, I have too many heart scars. She says, quote, I feel like I have to say enough is enough. I need a pause from all the heartbreak and confusion. It's been a long break and I'm not ready to end it. Maybe it'll stretch on indefinitely. I don't know. All I know is I have accumulated plenty of heartache already. So a couple of things jump out to me there. 2 phrases. Number 1, pause from heartache and confusion. And number 2, it's been a long break and I'm not ready to end it. Here's the translation. Heartache and confusion. Translation, she's been getting pumped and dumped and catching feelings for players and bad boys, and a long break means that she's having one-night stands and Tinder hookups by the truckload, right? She doesn't know if she wants a pause from the heartbreak or if she's on a break and she's not ready to end it. Guys, either choice involves sex, and a lot of it, and she knows it. You see, she's trying to make us think that she wants to continue with her break because she wants us to believe, she wants us to think that she's living a life of a nun. Oh, look at Amy. She's abstaining from sex because she's sick and tired of the confusion and the heartache and all the games these guys play. Good for her. Nah, bruh. Either choice involves dudes in her bedroom. She just wants to be able to divorce feelings from sex, and she can't do it like men do. Accumulated plenty of heartbreaks means that she has accumulated a high body count, likely into the triple digits. Anytime a woman says to you, I've had my heart broken too many times, or I'm tired of the games, she is as good as admitting that she is a party girl, which means a high body count. She's not fooling anybody here, guys. Number 2, I always get burned, so why bother? She says, quote, I'm trying to make better choices about love, but I still get hurt every time I put myself out there. It makes me cynical and jaded about even trying. I don't feel like there's any point. My life is perfectly happy and pleasant without romance. The theme of this number 2 tells you all you need to know. I always get burned, so why bother? Here's the thing, guys. Being a female of quality is hard. Being a promiscuous slut is very easy. So girls make up the excuse, well, I always get burned, so why bother trying to be a good woman? Guess I'll do the hard thing and be alone, right? Guys do the same thing. Well, bench pressing 350 pounds is kind of, or bench pressing 200 pounds is too hard, right? And every time I try to bench press it, I always fail. May as well not try to get into shape anymore. Guess I'll do the hard thing and not work out. Guys, being alone for girls is easy because there's always a string of dudes who are trying to bang her. When she says better choices, right? Put myself out there means you're falling for the wrong guys, which means she's still falling for the players, still falling for the bad boys. Perfectly pleasant. My life is perfectly pleasant without romance. Translation: I love being a slut, but I want guys to treat me like I'm not one. Guys, she's not happy and pleasant. Girls who get passed around like Amy Horton are never happy, which is why 1 in 4 of these hoes is on some sort of anti-anxiety or anti-depressant medication. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Amy called in a refill right after she wrote this article. Number 3, and we've heard all girls say this, I'm tired of the drama. She says, quote, no matter what, dating and relationships bring complication into my life. I find that when I'm single, I have more energy and less stress and misery. Until I meet someone who won't bring unnecessary chaos and conflict, I am not willing or able to open up my heart. Guys, she's not tired of the drama. Girls love drama. Keeps them on their toes. Keeps their nether regions wet. The reason she has more energy when she's single is because the single life is easy. Just sleep around. Sleeping around is easier than breathing for a woman. Stress and misery, quote unquote, that's just another way of saying being accountable for my actions and being loyal to one man. That, God forbid, that's such a hassle for women. The guys who won't bring chaos and conflict are the guys she's going to friend zone. I don't want guys who bring chaos and conflict. Okay, you're going to friend zone those guys. Let's go to number 4. Here's another one we hear all girls say this. I don't trust men at all anymore. She says, quote, I've definitely had a few wonderful experiences, but unfortunately, the bad always outweigh the good. I don't trust guys because they're reckless with my heart most of the time. They don't value or appreciate me enough. I don't trust guys anymore. That is the calling card of a female who has been rode hard and put away wet more times than she can count. A woman that says this, that is the calling card of someone who is promiscuous. The bad outweighs the good. Okay, listen, sweetheart, guys that you're aroused by, they come with their baggage. They flirt, they cheat, they don't call you back. There's all that drama. But right at the end, they don't value or appreciate me enough. No, men of value don't appreciate women who have slept around. And they don't value you because you've given your body away to too many men. That's how this works. Number 5, this is funny. I feel safer keeping guys in the friend zone. I finally have a good group of male friends, she says, and I truly appreciate them. They allow me to get close to them and understand them better without any of the pressure or tension that goes along with dating. There are no emotional stakes, and I like that. Translation: I get all of the emotional benefits of a relationship without actually having to give myself away physically like I have most of my adult life. Of course you feel safer. You're not aroused by these dudes. Women don't have sex with guys they feel emotionally safe around. They have sex with guys they are emotionally fearful of. Number 6, I've created too many. I love when girls say, well, I have so many walls, as if you're supposed to try harder to get past them, as if somehow it's worth it. She says, quote, my walls have only grown stronger and taller with time, which means that her notch count is getting higher. I think, she says, that I understand my hangups and fears better now, but that doesn't mean I'm over them. It is simply too risky to let them down and let yet another undeserving man into my deepest, darkest recesses. Too many walls goes back to the trust thing, which means she's been with a lot of dudes. When she says, I have my walls up, translation, too many men have been in my pants. So I have to fortify my defenses accordingly so I don't make the mistake of adding yet another man to my body count. Then she says, then to let yet another undeserving man into my deepest, darkest recesses. What she's really talking about there is her pants, right? Guys, number 1, she as good as told you she's a slut who's been run through by hordes of undeserving men. And by undeserving, she means guys who didn't call her back the next morning after they banged her out. Well, he didn't deserve me. Well, clearly he did. Number 2, females don't have deep, dark recesses. Guys, women are as simple as bar stools. They want to be complicated. They are not. There's nothing awe-inspiring about women. Your deepest, darkest recesses aren't a privilege to know, Miss Horton. They're a headache. Keep that nonsense to yourself and get on your knees already. You got somewhere to be. Number 7. She says, I attempt vulnerability and literally can't make it happen. Something deep within me stops me from going there, and I'm not sure how to get rid of that blockage. I used to at least be able to access my emotional depths if I really wanted to do so. Now that feels virtually impossible. This, Miss Horton, is because you are unable to pair bond because you have been with too many men. This is what happens this is what happens to women when they give their bodies to too many dudes. This is a psychological thing. When a man sleeps with a woman, he marks her as his territory. This is what happens. Well, guess what? Amy's been, and a lot of women share this, she's been marked by so many guys, she has no idea whose territory or property she is. Women like Amy belong to the game. She technically belongs to every man, and if she belongs to every man, then she belongs to no one. And that's why she can't be vulnerable anymore, just like every other woman out there who has a body count over 10. A couple of ways you guys can contribute. You can do that through Super Chat or the Streamlabs link, www.streamlabs.com/DonovanSharpe1. Whichever is the most convenient way for you. I appreciate every penny. If you get something out of my content, like, comment, and subscribe, and share. My channel does not grow without you guys. So share my videos, text your friends, blast us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Get the word out, guys. If you're a little short on cash and you can't contribute, remember, likes and shares are free. So you can do your part without having to go into your wallet. Also, make sure you sign up for my newsletter to stay in the know on all things Donovan Sharpe. And if you have a show idea, if you see a video, if you see a blog post, something on social media, hit me, tsr@donovansharpe.com. Again, that is tsr@donovansharpe.com, or the contact tab on my website, donovansharpe.com. If you want even more of my content, sign up for my Patreon. Okay, this afternoon, I'm releasing another archive video you cannot find on YouTube. Also, as a patron, you will get access to my live evening show, TSR Primetime. I take your phone calls, I answer your questions, and yes, I do look at the chat. TSR Primetime is not YouTube friendly, but the content is every bit as top notch as the content I make available to the public. Tonight, I'm going to tell you guys why Las Vegas, Nevada is the best city for single, childless, red pillow wear men, and why you will thrive. Guys, Vegas quite literally made me the man I am today, and I'm going to tell you guys how that happened tonight at 6:30, so be sure to tune in for that. Listen, all it takes is 17 cents a day. So go to patreon.com/Donovan Sharpe to get access to more of my videos, pictures, audio podcasts, and much, much more. All right, let's move on to her number 8 here. I don't even know how to let go at this point. She says, quote, my desire to protect myself from harm has taken over. Ironically, I've learned to face my fears in every other area of my life. It's only love and dating where I seize up and defend my feelings from any possibility of hurt. Guys, this is a natural reaction, but again, these are because of the sexually irresponsible choices she's made. Women always make the mistake of treating their love lives like everything else, just like that wannabe dating coach Annie White was talking about. Well, just handle everything else. Well, handle your love life like handle everything else. Doesn't work that way, man. She's talking the same thing. Women need to be aggressive and protect and proactive in their dating life. Just because it's helped you in every other aspect of life doesn't mean it's going to help you in your dating life. When it comes to a woman's love life, they have a hard time discerning the differences, especially when they've slept around. Let's go to number 9. I have way too much anxiety when it comes to love. She says, quote, it's the one area where I haven't been able to attack my fears and get over them. I am still too afraid of getting my heart broken because I'm very sensitive and I know it ruins me every single time. I'm not willing to experience that again. Guys, this is a woman who knows that she is a slave to her biology. She's afraid because she knows she can't love a quote-unquote good guy. Like I said before, women can never fall in love with a man they know cannot emotionally torment them. If he is not emotionally dangerous to her in that way, she can't get aroused. Ms. Horton knows this, and she is rightfully afraid. This is why women should get married young and not sleep around. so they don't sleep around to the point to where you can't feel anything mentally, emotionally, or physically. Number 10, I literally cannot bring myself to go there. It ain't happening, she says. I preach openness and emotional vulnerability to other people, but I'm a huge hypocrite. I want to be able to do it, and I simply can't. It's a problem, and I need to do some serious work if I am ever going to open up again. Amy, I'm here to tell you, sweetie, you're never going to open up again, sweetheart. Can't be done. Listen, man, women who've been passed around are emotionally incapable of opening up. The innocence and naivety has literally been fucked out of them. Listen, here's the thing, guys. There is a line, and I don't even know if this is a word. There is a line of emotional demarcation when it comes to women and sex. Sometimes it's 4 guys, sometimes it's 6, sometimes it's 3. Every woman is different. But once you reach whatever threshold, right, it's like virginity. Once you give it away, you can't get it back no matter what you do. Once you sleep with guy number 8, 9, or 10, that innocence and naivety, that's gone for good. And once it's gone, you can never really open up to anyone again. Number 11, I have an easier life when I feel emotionally safe. I have an amazing life, she says, and honestly, if not having deep emotional intimacy with a man is the only drawback, that's not so awful. I never fight with anyone and I never cry. Yes, I want love, but I'm willing to compromise to keep my sanity. No, baby girl, not having a deep emotional intimacy in terms of relationship, that is the only drawback that matters to you, and that's why you've written this article. Guys, I say this all the time. The more power, the more influence, the more money a woman has, the further she shrinks her pool of potential suitors. But there's another element to this. The more men you allow to enter your body, the further you shrink your emotional availability. Being emotionally safe is a miserable existence for women. Guys, women want to feel something. They want to feel pain, joy, sadness, elation. Being in a roller coaster relationship, that's better than being in a boring one. Any girl would tell you that if she's being honest with you. So when she says not having a deep emotional intimacy is not so awful, she's lying and she knows it. Number 13, I am starting to believe that emotional intimacy is overrated. She says, quote, I used to think that it was everything I wanted, but I'm realizing that I have a lot more going on. Oh, other things to report now. I'm working on developing my sense of self, my career, and the way I relate to everyone around me feels pretty good. Wait a minute. Hang on a second. Did I skip one? Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I skipped one. Let me go back to number 12. I was so eager to read number 13, I skipped over number 12. Number 12. I think I'm a nicer person when I'm protecting myself. Someday, I hope, I can be raw and dark and dirty with a partner and have them accept me as I am. Honestly, though, I think when I am keeping myself safe, I tend to be a better human. I don't lash out or react out of fear and anxiety. You have been raw and dark and dirty, and they have accepted you as who you are. A promiscuous woman who's been raw and dark and dirty with many other men. This is why they're not committing to you. That and the fact that you're a 34-year-old woman who thinks she deserves what a 20-year-old virgin deserves. Again, guys, this goes back to feels. Women want to feel. Protecting yourself isn't feeling anything. Now let's go back to the emotionally overrated. Emotional intimacy is overrated. I already read that. I'm not going to read it again. What she just said here, this is just like saying, I'm starting to think that fit, feminine, beautiful women that want to make men happy are overrated. Guys, people call things overrated when they know they can't have them. White girls are overrated, says the black man who can't date white girls. Being thin is overrated, says the fat girl who doesn't want to exercise and not eat junk all day. Emotional intimacy is overrated, says the 34-year-old woman who is no longer capable of emotional intimacy on account of having slept around through her 20s. Number 14, I like the idea of deep love, but I've never had it. I've been in a lot of relationships, she says, but not one of them was right, even if I thought it was at the time. I didn't know how to truly love deeply, and neither did any of my exes. I couldn't attract real emotional intimacy because I didn't know what it was. Again, this is what happens when you lose your virginity at 14 and don't stop sleeping around. Of course she doesn't know what real love is. All Amy knows is random casual sex. And when she says neither did any of my exes, she is lying. You see, men love differently than women. She wasn't ready to commit, and they were. She's blaming her situation on men. Listen, I was attracting the wrong men. No, sweetheart. They were ready. You were not, because you were having too much fun sleeping with bartenders, DJs, and motorcycle guys. Women who have been passed around, they have a certain look to them. We call this the thousand cock stare. She was unable to attract emotional intimacy because men always pick up on women who have slept around, and they do the wise thing by not making themselves emotionally vulnerable or emotionally available. And the ones that did, those are the ones she didn't want to be with because they weren't wise enough to understand that she wasn't worth committing to long term, and she punished these dudes for it. If only those guys were around now, huh? Number 15, and last but certainly not least. I love how she always ends these articles by feeling sorry for herself. I don't think I'll ever meet the right man for me. She says, quote, yes, this sounds horribly depressing, but I don't know if I believe he's out there. I've been wrong so many times that I don't trust my judgment, and I'm tired of trying to be emotionally open with guys who leave me stranded high and dry. Maybe I have to accept that I am on my own. Oh, Amy. Amy, he was out there. They were out there. He was the guy with the great job who wanted you to meet his parents when you were 22. When you were 24, you dated a guy who was in great shape, who made great money, and loved you more than anything, but you weren't really sure about how you felt about him because the hot black guy at work kept asking you if you've ever dated interracially, and curiosity ended up getting the better of you. You dumped the guy who was in med school when you were 25 because he studied too much, even though he spent all of his free time with you. He was out there, Ms. Horton, and you weren't wrong about these guys. These guys were wrong about you. And now 10 years later, they think about you. They see you on Facebook. They're probably reading your articles. They think to themselves, thank God Amy dumped me. She did me a favor. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see my patrons at 6:30 tonight.